So they actually is going to build right now, or at least a little bit of space history. That's what we're waiting on now. Is it not quite yet? Probably in the next couple of minutes.
It is remarkable indeed. Greg Hancock, thank you so much. The thread starts right now. Everybody knows they were lying last night. A little on everything. All right. Thank you, Carly and Todd. Good morning, everybody. Staying on those live pictures out of SpaceX HQ. A historic moment as SpaceX Polaris Dawn crew is expected to begin the first ever commercial space. Headlines Elon Musk, and it is dramatic. He says America is going bankrupt extremely quickly. America is also going bankrupt extremely.
Why are we going bankrupt? I'm glad you asked. We going bankrupt because we got a bunch of fucking imbeciles running our fucking business in the fucking shitter. We're $35 trillion in debt, and no one has been fired yet. And the blame is being bounced back and forth between the Democrat rats and the Republican clowns, when the truth is the truth. Both fucking parties been robbing us.
Extremely quickly. And nobody seems to, everyone seems to be sort of whistling past the graveyard on this one. You know, the Defense Department budget is a very big budget. Okay, it's $1 trillion a year. DoD intel, it's $1 trillion. And interest payments on national debt just exceeded the Defense Department budget, but they're over $1 trillion a year, just in interest and rising. We're adding $1 trillion to the net to our debt, which our kids and grandkids are going to have to pay somehow. Headlines Elon Musk, and it is dramatic. He says America is going. I saw Vice President Harris. I know you wrote to Twitter and the CEO, Jack Dorsey, and asked him to take away the Twitter handle. This week, came a statement where she said Elon Musk better watch out. He has lost his privileges and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook.
Man, all these people make me quiet. Man, fuck all the bullshit. We need a real overhaul in the White House. All liars need to be fired. All you gotta do is ask them some simple fucking questions, yes or no. Because the Democrat rats and the Republican clowns, by them being legal lying lawyers, most of them, they don't answer questions. They always go around the answer to a question, yes or no, because they're lawyers. They know exactly how the bullshit goes. They're the number one bullshitters. Legal lying lawyers are the number one bullshitters.
Is 20,000 Haitian migrants, 15,000 plus waste arriving in their town of just 15,000 residents, thanks in large part to the Biden-Harris administration's expansion
of the Temporary Protected Status Program. The residents are complaining of long waits for medical appointments, more crowded schools and roads, and some are concerned that the migrants don't know the traffic laws there. And those concerns after a Haitian migrant minivan driver hit a school bus last year. That killed an 11-year-old boy. Now, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has sent a surge of troopers and $2.5 million in healthcare resources to Springfield as a result of the migrant influx. DeWine says the federal government has not shown that they've got a plan to deal with this problem. And Mark Timber will
not allow Donald Trump to be president. I don't like some stuff he says, but I tell you, I have been with him on one different person than he is on stage. He is charitable, he is kind, he remembers people, he remembers his children, saves, he cares, and he's brave enough to do it. Any person, any flaws, they should have been fine. Nobody is safe. Absolutely. Just watch this.
Trump 2024. It's the hour of the Aquarius. It's the hour of the awakening. It's the hour of the truth. You don't need no legal blind lawyer running your business. You need a businessman to run your business. Or a businesswoman to run your business. But never no legal blind lawyers who never work for me or you. They always work for the judge, and most of the time become judges too. What a fucked up catch-22 when you got liars being doctors too. The doctors are nothing but practice physicians. Practicing on you, practicing on me, the medication they get from the pharmaceutical companies that they're in bed with. How in the fuck you expect to get healthy when the doctors are making sure healthy when the doctors are making sure they keep you sick?
Joe Biden's voters in 2020, 7 million of them, I think, I can't remember the exact number, accounted for 70% wealth in the United States. Donald Trump's voters accounted for 30%. The Republican Party is now the party that's the more which is love. I mean, this is facts. I know. You can't live it out. You actually can. I don't want to blow your mind. Make it another week without private equity in this country. I'm just throwing that out, okay? I don't think anybody's going to starve to death without a DEI consultant. We don't have small counselors. Why don't we have more unionized teachers? What are we going to do? And then I look around at my neighbors in the very rural area where I live, and they're the people who like fix your well when it breaks, or wire your house, plumb your bathroom, paint your house, fix your truck. What's that about it? And those people, the people you literally can't live without, have 30% of this nation's wealth, the richest nation in the world. The only people who really matter are the ones who are the poorest. Tell me how that works. That seems like a scam to me on a very deep level. Joe Biden's voters in 2020.
Lights and clock stop me.
70% wealth in the United States. Donald Trump is the Republican Party is now the party that's which is love. It's just facts. I know.
That's the truth, man.
No question.
The question is, who's playing who? Are Democrat rats or the Republican clown or the taxpayer? Once again, the question is, who's playing for who? Meaning you don't have no say so about any type of rules, regulations, or law. So once again, who's lying to who? The United States of America's corporation is supposed to be for the people, by the people, but the people don't have no say so. The people have so-called representatives to represent them, but they don't represent shit. They're a bunch of liars too. So how can you allow so my question is, how can you allow someone to lie to you and then continue working for you?
Another week without private equity research. I saw that in the next business. There were a lot of great traders in last night's debate. I gotta tell you, Trump had one that I found really good. Look at how it got set. Well, since they want to make their great one, Trump, and the vaccine alpha. President Sheila should play to bracket. Pennsylvania or anywhere else. That's what her plan is for justice.
I made very clear my position on fracking. When you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking in your first day in office,
The truth is the truth, and you can't hide the truth or run away from the truth, because sooner or later the truth is gonna come out.
ban on fracking in your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice. This is the first time it's ever banning fracking. So let's start.
Well, since we want to make that great one in the debate, their president, Cheney, over the weekend endorsed Kamala Harris. But their president, Cheney, over the weekend endorsed Kamala Harris over Trump. He's president, published in the street. What's your mom? Listen, Dick Cheney's wrong. Read that as Cheney.
The former president wasted.
Several indictments and Pentagon likes to voluntarily retire. How does that work?
I'm tired of this bullshit where somebody do some bullshit and then they can live there and resign when they should either get put in prison after being fired, but there's no way possible they should still get a salary. This is some Verily, this is some stupid shit. When you look at resigning and getting impeached, both of those words are big words for you just gonna get fired, but you still gonna get your salary. That's some bull. That's some real bullshit.
Pentagon. A senior official in the Pentagon was recently indicted for involvement in dogfighting. I guess it's bigger enforcement of criminal act.
Didn't Michael Vick go to jail for 5 fucking years for dogfighting?
No. Once in a while.
Didn't
You're covered! I should have just taken a shot. Hold it, idiot! Police! Jesus! God, you animal! Where did this fool go? There you are! Freeze, faggot!
Well,
Stick with me!
this is a former U.S. Department of Defense official.
I've got
Mr.
you, buddy.
Frederick Douglass Wilson. deputy chief information officer for Command Control.
MOS down! I repeat, man down!
No, I don't want to
Out of
oversee
rounds,
us,
reloading!
but no, it's been there a long time.
I need cover, alright? Hurry up!
And was guided on another by Justice Department in October of 2023. The Justice Department announcement was a federal grand jury checking out animal fighting.
This goes to show you that we don't have no legal system. Our legal system is a piece of shit. We have a bunch of criminals running that legal system. How can you ever get that justice when the liars that run the system?
Charges of the alleged establishment and promotion of a gunfight. And so these undercover officials want to know what the is going to do. This is okay. That's her information.
Seems like nobody on the Democrat rat side ever goes to prison.
So we have some records about the salary, security records, and any records related to dogfighting.
Nancy Pelosi, she's doing inside trading.
So the Pentagon, fucking bad.
She's literally breaking the law. She should be put in jail just like Martha Stewart.
Earn the salary. And the following over is earned about $2.5 million.
Why are these people in Congress making so much money if they're not robbing? If they're not robbing the taxpayers, where is the money coming from?
But he was also reporting documents allowed voluntarily hire after
Too many people are resigning after they do some fucked up shit. Too many people are getting their pensions after they get fired. That don't make no sense.
job titles. I think the more important thing is that he was allowed to voluntarily retire. Best as I can tell from these documents, he had lawyers. He's had no issues about his retirement. Or funding or that's his defense. Northern strikes and strikes.
In Springfield,
calls himself the board for years. 9 fellow gunfighters were indicted in Virginia last year and they pled guilty to cooperating with investigators.
maybe you can answer the question most of Americans asking outside the Democratic Party.
Fights and wages, comparing methods of killing dogs who lost fights.
Maybe you can answer the question most of Americans asking outside the Democratic Party for Oprah Winfrey at the DNC. Who is Kamala Harris?
She's a fraud.
In what respect?
She is an image that's been carefully crafted. Yeah,
So it's a real operation you got going.
Michelle Obama's family, a journey through generations. Michelle Obama, former
Star approach. Fired with men and women who object to forced COVID vaccine. What happened? Very significant individuals within our armed forces. But allow indicted individuals to voluntarily retire with full benefit. So it's a very curious case. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.
These increasing tensions between China and Japan, whereby China is now threatening to retaliate against Japan if Japan continues to withhold selling them chip-making equipment so they can, pull ahead in the AI race. Then China's going to restrict selling Japan rare earth minerals, which they need for EVs. And the reason EVs are such a big topic is because of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's EV policies.
Yeah, if we go back to the first decade of the century, China actually imposed an embargo on the sale of rare earths in Japan. And that embargo collapsed within about 3 or 4 weeks for various reasons. Because the Japanese were buying this stuff anyway. Chinese state enterprises were selling it under the table. All sorts of things were occurring. China's embargoes just don't make sense for China, and they're too easily evaded.
All right, I do want to play that correct soundbite from Vice President Kamala Harris and her response. Let's watch this. The Trump administration resulted in a trade deficit. He invited trade wars. You want to talk about his deal with China? He ended up selling American chips to China to help them improve and modernize their military. Basically sold us out. Gordon?
Well, first of all, on the chips, yes, there were no embargoes on the sale of chips to China because there hadn't been beforehand. And the Biden administration was trying to impose chip bans. But those chip bans were sort of imposed in a way which made them not effective. And so Vice President Harris needs to address that. But the other thing, her broader point, she said, Trump's starting a trade war. That's not correct. The Chinese have been engaging in a trade war against the United States for decades. all Trump did was started to defend ourselves. And yes, this looks messy, but that's what happens when you have a predatory nation like China with these criminal policies on trade, and you gotta do something. And yeah, the solutions may not be perfect, but you've got to do something.
It still comes down to the votes, as you know, Gordon. And I think the majority, if not 90 to 95% of the American people, don't fully understand the nuances of a tariff. All they're getting is this binary. Kamala says tariff bad, Trump says tariff good. I hear bad, I don't want it. So, how does Trump need to drive home a more simple message to the voter on tariffs? Because, and let's face it, we're not all economists.
Right. And the issues are complex, and economists get those issues wrong for a number of reasons. I think basically, this is a message that might not say, but the point is that our trade policies have been so bad over the course of 3 decades that there is going to be no perfect solution. That whatever we do, Mark, is going to result in some detriment to the United States. But that's how you have, such bad policies when they're remedied. The solutions are never perfect.
Yeah, let's talk about, I brought this up at the beginning of the segment, but about the military side of this and the CCP. So the influence of the CCP certainly is a growing concern, especially here in New York City. Police Assemblyman Ron Kemp has claimed that groups tied to the Chinese Communist Party tried to steal his seat in the June Democratic primary, saying there were clear patterns of foreign influence to try and dictate the outcome, calling it dangerous territory. A top aide to New York City Police Commissioner Edward Caban, allegedly a chairman of a nonprofit group that was meant to spread Chinese propaganda and that was funded by the CCP, Caban himself, under suspicions of having ties to China and to Turkey, had his home raided by federal agents. That was last week. And there's been reports he may step down, we shall see. But these were all spurred by the charges against Len DeSantis. And I know that you and Maria have talked about this story. This is the longtime aide to former Governor Cuomo, former chief of staff.
This is the story of how Pipe Drive getting
To Kathy Hochul, charged last week for being an acting agent of the CCP. This story just continues to show tentacles, and I think there's more concern here in New York about who else is in a position of power or has the air of power that is working for the CCP, Gordon.
Yeah, there are daily crawler investigations on Grace Mom, the representative from the New York 6th District, which is part of Queens. And I think those are going to actually reveal some very interesting details about the relationship between Democratic Party politicians and Communist Party front organizations in New York. And you got Lee Greco, who is a senior aide to Eric Adams, the mayor. That is also very, very disturbing. So this is just going to continue because there's so many names that have come out in the last week.
Well, and then Governor Hochul said that New York's China General Counsel was expelled, but the State Department refuted that. So, and then a spokesperson for the Consul General said he's working as usual. And I want to bring up one more thing with you before you go. And it goes back to that just John Bolton op-ed in the Journal about the Asia Pacific in general and the influence of China, not just here in New York, but it's about the debate. Because as America's next president has to face the strategic consequences of the belligerence of China, and that climate change negotiations with Beijing should no longer top Washington's agenda.
Yeah, absolutely. Because China now in the South China Sea, almost daily engaging in very provocative activities, any one of which could start a war. And you have Chinese troops 37 miles into India's Arunachal Pradesh province. You've got, going back to Japan, you have Chinese planes in Japanese airspace. Japan actually is the target of a Chinese operation to try to pry away Okinawa. They're starting to talk about this is just getting out of control. It's all these countries in the region. China is lashing out. Something is very wrong in Beijing.
But real quick, these military drills that are happening right now, top U.S. and Chinese military commanders speaking, which was a surprise to me. They spoke for the first time this week, and they haven't spoken for years. What did you make of that?
Well, we've been talking to China on so many different levels, and China's behavior has only gotten worse. And when you talk about drills, the ones that we worry about are the China and Russian naval drills in a few weeks, because when there is a war in East Asia, Xi Jinping is going to tell Vladimir Putin, you have no choice. You're fighting with us in East Asia because we're helping you in Ukraine.
A lot of topics covered with you, Gordon. It's always a pleasure to see you, Gordon Chang.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you for being here.